This is the Zion Gate Park that I'm just leaving in the morning to head over to Zion National Park. Zion Gate is in Hurricane, and you have to drive through the town of Hurricane. It's a little east of St. George. In order to get over to Zion, you're maybe about a 45-minute drive if you start out in Hurricane. Even if you're staying in St. George, there are a ton of RV parks, but if you're there in March, it's a pretty tight competition for getting a spot. St. George is a rapidly growing city and there's a lot going on. So Hurricane is actually kind of a nicer area to stay in. You've got Zion Gate, you've got another park right in the center of Hurricane, you've got Sand Hollow State Park. You've got Quail Creek if you want dry camping. And there's also another private RV park that's maybe about 20 minutes outside of Zion National Park. The national park itself has a RV park just on the inside. In this situation, I don't know that there's a great advantage to staying in Zion National Park. I'll explain that in a moment. The road approaching the park is state 2-lane road, 1 lane each way. Moves pretty good. You're in a high desert area, so it's probably dry most of the time with no issues. Very scenic, very beautiful. And once you get east of Hurricane and a couple little towns between Hurricane and Zion, there is not much. As you approach Zion, you enter the town of Springdale, and that's what you're about to see in the video here. Springdale is a classic little border town to a national park. It's filled with bed and breakfasts and restaurants. There's a pretty good one on the left as you enter town, and it has pretty much all the amenities you would need before you enter the park, including some outfitters that will set you up with wetsuits and such if you plan on hiking the Narrows. Once you get to the east side of town, you'll be approaching Zion. You'll get into line. My advice is to get there early. The 2 days that I went in, I was entering before 9 o'clock in the morning. It does get busy getting into the park. When you're entering the park, the only place you're going to be driving in all likelihood is to the parking lot at the visitor center, which is right about at the entrance of the park. What they've initiated, this is a long, narrow canyon, probably about a 15-mile canyon for the main part of the park. And they've initiated a shuttle system. It's a free shuttle system that runs from stop 1 to stop 9, stop 1 being the visitor center, stop 9 being the Riverside Walk and the Narrows. And when you get onto the shuttles, you can hop them going inbound up to stop 9 or outbound back to stop 1 to get to the visitor center and to get to where your vehicle will be parked. You'll find a few vehicles driving around in the park because there is the Zion Lodge, which is at stop number 5. And for folks who are staying at the Zion Lodge, they are given permission to drive up there. There are also some folks that will go up to stop 3, which is a turnoff to go east to Bryce Canyon National Park. So you have a few options, but most folks are going to park in the main parking lot and just take the shuttles from there. Visitor Center, of course, has a gift shop, and it's got an information center for you there. Any food, beverages, things like that are going to be found at the Zion Lodge, again, up around stop number 5. When I went into the park, I'm more on the easy to moderate hikes kind of guy. There are hikes that you can take that will carry you hundreds of feet above or thousands of feet above the canyon, above the valley floor. up the canyon walls. Some of the hikes are very steep, some are technical. Some folks actually hike or climb right up along the vertical sheer walls of the canyon. It's pretty interesting. For me, I was pretty happy to go to stop number 9 and take the Riverside Walk to the Narrows. The Narrows is where the walk ends, and any continuing walking is in the river. And for that, at least in March, you needed to have a walking stick, and you needed to have a wetsuit and dry shoes, none of which I had. So for me, it was the Riverside Walk. But that alone was beautiful. I've got some of that in here once we get into the park. I also took some time out to go to the Emerald Pool Trail, which is stop number 5 and 6. You can do a loop from the Kayenta Trail to the Emerald Pool Trail to the Grotto Trail, and it brings you back to the Zion Lodge and then ultimately up to stop 6 again. Again, the Zion Lodge is a great place to have lunch. There is an outdoor deck there and a restaurant. The restaurant is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, closes for an hour or so in between each of their servings. You are not going to have any kind of phone access when you get much beyond stop number 2. The canyon is tall and narrow, and there are no cell towers in the area. I also took some time and did some walks around stop number 1. I believe it's the Porus Trail and the I think the Archaeology Trail are in that area. But there's just an immense number of options for you once you get up into that region. We're now in the park, and you're about to see the Zion Narrows Trail. So I'm going to leave it to the next piece to show you that. Last stop on the canyon tour of Zion Park is the Narrows.
Give me a chupes. Ja, Jorge dijo, I just did it.